Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is Faizan Ali, and this is my lecture number 9 for the course PE-414. In the previous lecture, we have discussed this slide, and we have seen that in order to calculate the recovery during the water imbibition, we can use this formula. And in this formula, we required area, the Z, the water inverted zone, and the effective porosity. And we know that effective porosity can be calculated using the matrix porosity and the movable hydrocarbon saturation. Movable hydrocarbon saturation is equal to 1 minus the connate water saturation and the residual oil saturation. So if we need to calculate recovery during the water injection, we require area, Z, porosity, SWI and SOR. Apart from the Z, each parameter is known to us. So the task is to calculate this Z, the water invading zone. And as we know that with time, this Z increases. So the objective of calculating recovery is to first estimate this Z, the water invaded zone height, and this Z changes with time. So in this lecture we will discuss the derivation, that how do we estimate this Z. So first we need to understand the forces that are governing the flow of water inside the matrix. So there are two basically forces. One is the capillary forces and other is the gravity forces. Capillary forces basically can be calculated from this formula, Hc, the difference of densities between water and oil, Ng, and Hc is the capillary rise. And we know that when basically when we have the smaller capillary size and the fluid is wetting phase, the capillary rise will be great. So Hc depends on the wettability and the pore size of the capillaries. Lower the capillary size, higher will be the capillary rise. Similarly, higher the capillary size, lower the capillary rise. So Hc basically is estimated in the lab, and it depends on the wettability and the pore size of the capillaries. The gravity forces depends on the difference of elevation between the water in the fracture and water in the matrix. So as you can see, HW minus Z is a difference of elevation between the water in the fracture and water in the matrix times this density difference into G. So these two forces basically are governing the flow. So depending the height of your capillary rise and height of the matrix block, one of them may be dominant or both forces are present at a given time. So in order to estimate Z, basically we have to consider the forces governing the flow, and we have to drive the equation for this Z factor. And basically we know that the Darcy equation can be used to calculate the velocity of the moving waterfront, and in this case both velocities of water and oil are equal and can be estimated through this Darcy equation. So velocity of the moving fluid is equal to minus Kw, the effective permeability of water, viscosity of water, pressure drop across the water zone, divided by this Z. Similarly, velocity of oil can be estimated from this formula, minus K naught, viscosity of oil, pressure drop across the oil phase, divided by H minus Z, the non-invading zone or the zone containing the oil. Velocities of both oil and water are constant. That is why we have taken both velocities equal. And we know that pressure drop across this matrix block is the sum of the pressure drop across the water phase plus the pressure drop across the oil phase. So combining these two equations, this equation plus this equation, we come to this equation that we calculate velocity through this formula. Obviously first you need to basically calculate delta PW from this equation, and delta PW will be equal to velocity times the viscosity times Z divided by Kw. Similarly, delta P naught will be equal to velocity times viscosity times H minus Z divided by K naught. So placing delta PW and delta P naught from these two equations, and delta P total from this equation, and rearranging the equation, we come to this final equation that the velocity of the moving fluid is equal to HW minus Z times the density difference times the G plus PC, the capillary pressure, divided by these parameters. So this is the formula to calculate the displacement front velocity. Considering the special case when the matrix block is completely surrounded by the water, in that case basically H is equal to HW. So considering this special case and introducing these parameters, first is ZD, dimensionless front position, and that is equal to Z divided by H. So Z basically is the water invading zone height, H is the height of the matrix block. So ZD is equal to Z upon H, and at different times this Z will increase so as the ZD, and the limitation of this ZD is that 0 to 1. So when water starts invading into this matrix block, at that time ZD will be equal to 0, and when water completely penetrates into this matrix block, at that particular time ZD will be equal to the 1. So ZD will be ranging from 0 to 1, and we know the mobility ratio, the mobility of the displacing fluid divided by the mobility of the displaced fluid, and this is the formula of the mobility ratio. And PC, the capillary pressure, basically is equal to this formula, and in this formula basically we need HC, the capillary rise, and the rise of basically of the wetting fluid, and we know that this basically HC depends on the pore size of the capillary. Lower the capillary size, higher will be the capillary rise. So basically we need these parameters, and basically M and PC and ZD are included in the previous equation, and the equation becomes this. So the frontal velocity, the frontal displacement front velocity can be estimated through this formula, and for that we need ZD, HC and H and other parameters. And obviously our objective is to calculate Z, that is the height of the water invading zone. So this is our objective to calculate recovery, and we know that basically dz upon dt is equal to velocity, displacement, rate of change in displacement is equal to velocity, and basically we have to use the intrinsic velocity, which is the real velocity, divided by the effective velocity. And effective velocity, again we know that we can calculate through the this formula, matrix velocity times the movable hydrocarbon saturation, and this is the basically the velocity that we have calculated using the Darcy equation. So when we divide this velocity with the effective velocity, we get the real velocity in the system, because fluid is flowing through the effective pores, not the total pores. So the effective velocity is used to calculate in the real velocity or the effective velocity. So the velocity estimated from the Darcy equation divided by the effective velocity will give you the effective velocity of the fluids, and that is equal to the dz upon dt, rate of change in displacement. So rearranging this equation, basically we will come to this equation that dt will be equal to this parameter. Obviously the velocity has been taken, has been placed in this equation from this formula. So this is the general formula to calculate basically time or dzt according what you need. And in this equation basically we have taken we have include both capillary forces and the gravity forces, and basically in the following we will solve the equation for the special cases, first for the gravity dominated flow and then for the capillary dominated flow. For example, first case is the gravity dominated flow, and basically when the matrix block height is much higher than your HC, which is the capillary rise, Obviously, when HC is limited, you will have limited effect of the capillary forces, because water will not rise because of the capillary imbibition to the all height of this matrix block. The rise is limited. So when the matrix block height is higher than your HC, it indicates that you have the gravity dominated flow in this particular reservoir. So when the height of the matrix block is much higher than your HC, then HC upon H is approximately equal to 0. So the general formulation transforms to this equation, and basically you further want to simplify this equation, so you introduce a dimensionless time TdG, which is equal to this formula, K naught upon viscosity naught M, density difference GT, H, effective porosity. So as time increases, this dimensionless time will increase or change. So rearranging the above equation, we will come to this final equation. This equation is to calculate the ZD for different values of TdG. And obviously this formula is valid when you have the gravity dominated flow. So in order to calculate ZD, you first calculate TdG from this formula. Obviously it changes for different times. You need M, the mobility ratio, and you know the formula of the mobility ratio. So by calculating TdG and M, we can calculate ZD, the dimensionless front position. So once we have calculated this ZD, we can calculate Z. Again, this is a formula to convert ZD into Z. So Z will be equal to ZD times the H. So ZD is estimated from the formula, and then Z is estimated. Once you have estimated Z, you can calculate the recovery using this formula. So recovery basically is equal to area times Z into effective porosity. Z has been calculated, so the recovery can now be calculated. This is the graphical representation of this formula. So when you plot ZD on y-axis and TdG on x-axis, and these are different values of ZD for different mobility ratios, and as you can see, the higher the mobility ratio, the lower recovery you will get at a given time. Again, mobility ratio basically is the ratio of the mobilities. So higher mobility ratio indicates that your displacing fluid, which is water in this case, is moving faster than your oil phase, and because of this higher mobility of your water, you will have the early breakthrough of water, and because of that you will have lower recovery. So lower mobility ratio is recommended to get maximum recovery from the given block. Obviously, for the capillary dominated flow, the HC, the height of the capillary rise, is much higher as compared to the matrix block height. And obviously we have seen this concept in the starting lecture, that for the water imbibition case, the smaller block size is recommended, because lower the block size means higher the contact between your water and your matrix, and because of this larger contact you will have the effective spontaneous imbibition inside your matrix, and you will have the higher recovery of your oil from the given matrix block. So for capillary dominated flow, HC, the height of the capillary rise, is much higher as compared to the matrix block height, and when you have this condition, the HC upon H is much greater than 1 minus ZD, so that this parameter can be replaced with HC upon H. So when you replace HC upon H, the equation, basically this is a general equation, and when you include this last thing into generalized equation, the equation reduces to basically this equation. Again, in this equation, TDBC is the group of terms which basically can be calculated from this formula, and TDPC, the dimensionless time when you have the capillary dominated flow. For that you need HC, you need difference of densities, G, mobility ratio, K naught upon viscosity of oil, H square, effective porosity, and time. And again with time, this TDPC will change, and again this concept remains the same. You first calculate TDPC from this equation. At different times it will give you different values. Other parameters are constant. So for particular reservoir, your M is constant, your K naught, viscosity of oil, densities, effective porosities, all parameters are constant. So at different times you will have the different TDPC value. M is fixed. So at different TDPC value you can calculate ZD, the displacement front position, and for once you have calculated ZD, you can calculate Z. Again, Z will be equal to Z times the H, and once you have the Z value, you can calculate the recovery by the formula. You know the area, you know the Z, you know the effective porosity, you can calculate recovery. So depending upon the type of the dominated flow, you can use either this capillary dominated flow, or you can use this gravity dominated flow. And again, we have seen when we were discussing the low rate and high rate, depending upon the rate basically and depending upon the wettability, basically we will see that which type of dominated flow you will have in your given reservoir. This is a graphical representation of this formula. Again, you can see that the lower the mobility ratio, the higher the recovery you will have at a given time. So again, mobility ratio is very important. So if you want to displace oil by water, you have to be sure that the mobility of your water should be lower than your oil. So that will basically increase your recovery, and you will have the efficient displacement of your oil by water. Again, if you have both capillary and gravity forces present, then you will use this TD GPC, and basically you can use this generalized equation to calculate the recovery. When both gravity and capillary forces are included, you will use this formula TDGPC, M minus 1 ZD, M plus E 1 minus M ln E minus ZD, and obviously first you calculate TDGPC from this formula, you will calculate E from this formula, and once you have calculated TDGPC and E from this formula, you can calculate ZD from this formula, and once you have calculated ZD, basically you can calculate Z. So first, obviously through the wettability and through the rate, you have to guess or calculate what type of dominated flow you will have in your given reservoir, and then you will use accordingly the formula to calculate the ZD. Again, role of boundary conditions during the experimental study is very important. For example, we have assumed that both faces are open and the side walls are coated, which means that they were impermeable. For example, in this case, one of the side is open. In first case, basically, as you can see, the bottom face is open and oil is moving towards gravity, and you have the counter flow condition. In this case, basically only the top face is open, and basically again you have the counter flow because both oil and water are flowing through this face, and but in this case gravity is assisting the oil flow. So depending upon the boundary condition, you will have the different formula. Again, the effect of the block dimensions, if you have the small width block size, you will have large influx of water from the sides, and you will have the larger recovery. As compared to the large width block size, you will have the less impact of influx from the sides as compared to the smaller block size. So the recovery will be higher for the smaller blocks. So for water imbibition in oil reservoirs, and you first need to assume that it should be water wet, and the block sizes should be small. Block sizes are small, you will have the effective or the efficient displacement of oil by water, because water will be spontaneously imbibed and you will have the larger recovery. Let's do an example. For example, the relative permeability curves and the capillary pressure curves have been provided to you for a given reservoir, and you have been asked to calculate the approximate position of the front after 5 hours when the rock was submerged in the water. In addition to the figures below, the following data is also provided to you: the matrix porosity, the matrix permeability, viscosities of oil and water, and the densities of oil and water. So from the relative permeability curves and the capillary pressure curve, you have to first assume the wettability of the rock. So first task for you is to estimate the wettability of the rock. From the curves we can see that this curve has been developed for the oil wet reservoir, because in this curve you do not see any spontaneous imbibition. You only have the forced imbibition in this case. So this is for the oil wet reservoir. And when we have the oil wet reservoir, which means you do not have the effect of the capillary forces, because capillary rise will be zero when you are injecting water inside the oil wet reservoir. So HC will be zero, which means whatever the height of your matrix block, HC is zero with respect to your H. So you have the gravity dominated flow in the oil wet reservoir, and you can see you have the forced imbibition. So completely oil wet, as can be seen from the capillary pressure curve, and basically we have discussed how to guess wettability from the capillary pressure curve. So in this case we have the oil wet reservoir, and basically when we have the oil wet reservoir we have the gravity drive flow dominant in our reservoir, and we know the formula for the gravity dominated flow. TDG is equal to m minus 1 ZD minus ln1 minus ZD. So first we need to calculate TDG, and TDG can be calculated from this equation: K naught upon viscosity, m density difference, GT, H into effective porosity. And for that we need m, the mobility ratio, and effective porosity. The mobility ratio can be calculated from the formula, for which we need viscosities and the effective permeabilities. So first we calculate mobility ratio, and as you can see the mobility ratio is very high, 13.33. So once we have calculated mobility ratio, we will calculate the effective porosity, and for that we need matrix porosity times the movable hydrocarbon saturation, and again movable hydrocarbon saturation we need SWI and SOR. And SWI and SOR since are not given in the data but can be estimated from this relative permeability curves. So we know that when we have the maximum oil and the minimum water, this is your SWI, the Coonate water saturation or the initial water saturation, and you can also see it from the capillary pressure curve. So SWI in our case is 0.2, the minimum water saturation in the reservoir, and basically this is the condition when you have the maximum oil saturation. So SWI is 0.2, and the residual oil saturation is basically 10%, which can also be seen when the minimum oil saturation in the reservoir. So the minimum oil saturation basically is the residual oil saturation, and this is around 10%, which can also be seen from this capillary pressure curve, that when you are forcing your oil out of the core sample, you have the vertical line at some point, and at this vertical point the saturation of water is the maximum, and when you subtract this 1 minus SW to get the SOR, So the minimum oil saturation is against this vertical line, and minimum oil saturation is around 10%. So SWI and SOR has been read from the relative permittivity curves and the capillary pressure curve, which is 0.2 and 0.1 in our case. So effective porosity is 0.14. So once you have calculated the effective porosity and the M, you can calculate TDG, the dimensionless time when the gravity dominated flow is present. So you know the formula, K naught is provided to us, and basically K naught is K time the Kr naught. So TDG is the K into Kr naught. So K is provided to you, the absolute permeability is provided to you, and from the relative permeability curves you can read the relative permeability, which is 0.3. So K naught is equal to Kr naught times the matrix permeability, K into Kr naught. So K is provided to you in the equation, and Kr naught has to be read against this SWI. So SWI is 0.2 and the Kr naught is 0.3. So K naught in this equation, which is effective permeability of oil, is equal to Kr naught times the K. Viscosities are provided to you. M is we have just calculated. Densities are given to us. G is given to us, and we have been provided the time after 5 hours. So we have to use in seconds. So 5 times into 3600 will convert the time into seconds. Divide by the H, and H is 10 centimeter. So H, the height of the matrix block is 10 centimeter. So basically, since we are using the SI system, it has to be used in meters. So H is 0.1 meter, effective porosity is 0.14. So TDG comes out to be 5.66. So TDG has been calculated. Now we can calculate ZD. We know the equation, we know the other values. So 5.66, 13.33 minus 1 ZD minus ln 1 minus ZD. In this equation, ZD will be estimated through the trial and error method. So we have to place values of ZD between 0 and 1 such that the left hand side becomes equal to right hand side. So first, basically we will place ZD is equal to 0.4. The right hand side turns out to be 5.44. So basically we have to bring the right hand side equal to left hand side. So 5.44 is not basically enough for us. So ZD is not accurate. So we have to change ZD again and bring the left hand side equal to right hand side. So at ZD is equal to 0.5, the right hand side is equal to 6.86. Again, this ZD is not accurate. So at ZD is equal to 0.416, the right hand side is 5.66, which is equal to left hand side. This is our required value. So at ZD is equal to 0.416, the right hand side becomes equal to the left hand side, and this is the value we will be using to calculate Z value. So once we have calculated ZD, we can calculate Z, and Z is calculated simply by multiplying ZD with the H, the matrix block height. So Z basically turns out to be 4.1 centimeter. So after 5 hours of immersion of this rock in water, the water has traveled into around 4 centimeter of this 10 centimeter block. So you can calculate recovery by the formula. We have calculated the Z factor, so we can easily calculate the recovery. This is another example. We have been asked to calculate the recovery of oil in a water imbibition process, and basically we have a formula which we have derived previously, and we have been asked to calculate the recovered volume of oil of a core plug whose height is 2.54 centimeter, diameter is 2.54 centimeter, and porosity is 25%. Other properties are also provided to us. In this case, the viscosity of oil, viscosity of water, TDPC has been provided to us, which is equal to 1. So we are not required to calculate TDPC by ourselves, but we know we can calculate TDPC. So it has a formula just like this. So we can easily calculate TDPC, but in this example it is provided to us. SW is at 1 minus SOR is equal to 0.8, and at this point basically PC is 0. Initial water saturation is 0.2. Kr naught at these two numbers have been provided to us. Kr naught basically at SWI is equal to 0.9 and KRW at SOR is equal to 0.3. So these parameters are provided to you, and you have been asked to calculate the recovery of oil in a water imbibition process. Obviously the time basically has been included in this TDPC. Otherwise we know that the time would have been provided to us just like the previous example where we were asked to calculate the front position after 5 hours. So time basically is built in this TDPC. Again, from the available information we can plot the capillary pressure curve, and we know that at 0.8 basically we have been given the PC is equal to 0. So at 0.8 PC is 0, and obviously from this point PC is increasing. Obviously the shape basically we have drawn it by our hand, so exactly shape could be like this, could be like this, but the important thing is that you do not have any forced imbibition in this case. Majority of the oil is recovered through the spontaneous imbibition. That is very important to us for this time. So this is the example for a strongly water wet reservoir where the spontaneous imbibition is dominant, and when you have the spontaneous imbibition you have the capillary dominated flow. Basically we have seen that for the strong capillary reservoir the HC, the capillary rise is greater than your H. So in this case basically you have the capillary dominated flow, and basically we can calculate ZD. So first we need to calculate M. The M is basically again this formula we know it, and we can calculate the M, and M in this case basically is 2, the mobility ratio. We know the formula of TDPC. Since TDPC was provided to us, so we haven't calculated TDPC in this equation by ourselves. We know the TDPC and we calculate ZD, and ZD turns out to be 0.6. So once we have calculated ZD, we can calculate Z, and Z basically is equal to ZD times the H. So Z basically turns out to be 1.524. So the recovered volume of oil can be calculated from this formula. A times Z times the effective porosity. We know the we can calculate the area because diameter is provided to us. Z we have just calculated, and we know the effective porosity, and we know the SWI and SOR. So the recovered volume of oil from this core plug is around 1.57 centimeter cube. So basically we have seen how we use this equations to calculate Z and to calculate the recovery. If we know the initial volume of oil, we can calculate recovery, which is volume of oil produced divided by the volume of oil recovered. So once we have calculated the volume of oil recovered, we can calculate the recovery by dividing this volume of oil recovered with the initial volume of oil present in the core plug. So by calculating Z, we can calculate the volume of oil recovered, and through the volume of oil recovered we can calculate the recovery by dividing this Vd with the initial volume of oil present in the core. So now basically we have seen the use of these equations, that how do we use this equation to calculate Z and the recoveries. Obviously first we need to basically understand the capillary pressure curves, and through the capillary pressure curves we basically guess what type of dominated flow we will have. If we have only force imbibition, gravity dominated flow will be present. If we have only spontaneous imbibition, we will have the capillary dominated flow. If we have the mixed wettability case, which we have seen that a part of the oil will be produced through the spontaneous imbibition and part of the oil will be produced through the gravity or the forced imbibition,